Okay, so now that we've established, you know what I'm saying, some stuff, right? And having experienced, I mean, this whole cycle myself, you know what I'm saying, and knowing what happened when I went through all this other bullshit and some other bullshit and that other bullshit, right? What I got and what I didn't got, and what services I was eligible for and which ones I wasn't, right? You know, the sad part is that here this is a quirk of human injustice right here, social injustice, right? Is that the more evil you are, the farther you get out here, you know what I'm saying, in this world, right? The more people you push to the side, the more people that you step on, the more people that you take advantage of, right? The farther up, farther up the channel you get to getting whatever, government assistance or whatever that they're going to give you. Right? I mean, this is a given, right? I mean, in order to, you gotta give, you gotta get, right? So, now that we kind of have a loose-handed understanding, of the situation, and I said this in a comment earlier, I think to Dan, right, that the people that do get pulled out of all this, I mean, chances are, I mean, I'll give you an example. Chances are, once they get established and they get a job, everything else, old habits are going to reemerge, right? And they're going to start doing dumb stuff again, right? And before you know it, kabingo, boom, they're right back out there because they don't know anything. They don't know any better, right? I mean, so even the good people, are victims of their own trap. So what do we do? So how do we fix all of this? I have no clue. I mean, well, I have a few, but most of you guys, some of you guys would agree with me. Some of you would, throw a fit, right? But I mean, the whole debate is exactly. I mean, because just what they've done so far, that hasn't worked, per se, right? I mean, yeah, they spent all the money, and yeah, people got all kinds of stuff and took advantage of all kinds of stuff, and other people are taking advantage of stuff and all kinds of other stuff, right? I mean, like, somebody sent an article, they built a bunch of shelters in California, right, for $2 million. Well, they appropriated $2 million. It turns out that the 8 buildings that they built only housed 60 people, right, and it only cost between $4,000 and $7,000 to build each little house, or little hut, or wherever it was, I mean, that's a, 2 million, right, 56,000, there's a gap in there somewhere. Right? I mean, and I'll give, granted, I'll give you, the city costs and management and payroll and all that stuff for all these people to process all that stuff. But my question is this: why come up with a program, institute it, and put it into play, and then give it all this money when you're not ready to manage it and make sure that you got the right people in charge taking care of it? And on top of that, you're filtering through the people, that you're supposed to be giving it to, and you're finding the ones that directly need support and encouragement. And you give it to them instead of, anybody that can worm their way up through and say, hey man, check it out, I'm homeless, been homeless, right? Put them in an SMI program, give them SSD check, right? And say, turn them loose. It's $900 to $1,100 a month, giving them money, right? See, when I go apply for my Social Security here, in this, by summer, when I turn 62, I'm gonna be lucky if I get $900 a month, right? And I worked a lot of my life, and I contributed towards my taxes and my FICA and all that other shit. Right, and but because they're half whacked out on drugs, and they are some SMI because of it, right? They get top cheese, right? When they should they should be studying these people. They should be have them on medication. They should be making them go to counseling. They should be making them have they should give them a case manager so somebody's in charge of them, right? Making sure that they're doing what they're signed the paper to do, all right? I mean, if we're going to throw all the money at it, let's manage the money. If we're going to stop throwing money at it, let's manage the money and figure out what we did, you know what I'm saying, so we learn from our lesson. See what I'm saying, right? I mean, that's the only way I mean, in order to fix the problem, we got to know what the problem is, right? And the problem is not just the people, the homeless people, right? The problem is the system that they've instituted, across states. Right, different municipalities are doing this and that, and other municipalities are doing that and this, and these municipalities are copying those municipalities. And I'm not just talking about California; I'm talking about other states, Washington, right, Oregon, Arizona, right. You know what I'm saying, right? The western states are where this is the biggest problem at. Back east, I'm saying it's the same as it always is. They got bandos and there's 100 bando matches on a block in New York City. right? And saying Cincinnati, there's 100 blocks full of bandos. Detroit too, right? So there's lots of places for people to hide, stay warm, build a fire, have a little camp, right? Do good. But out here, there really isn't, because out here everything is this city, right? It's all thriving, every part of it. You know what I'm saying? You find you a nice little bando somewhere, odds are somebody's going to tell on you, cops are going to find you, or the landowner's going to show up, because, hey, now, since there's billions of dollars up for grabs in here in Phoenix, I'm saying, for developing, right? They might have sold it to somebody down, especially if it's close to downtown, anywhere where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? they just made their fortune for the rest of their life. Your ass got arrested and booted out. All because you're trying to do the right thing. Anyways. That's something to think about. That's some stuff to think about. I mean, since we started the debate, let's keep the debate going. What do you guys think? Just pipe in, make your comments. Let's see. This is me, Brian, right? Just thought I'd, think about it for a while. Thank you.